Hello, and before we get the video started, I just wanted to thank everyone for subscribing. I am now up to 100 subscribers, which is very exciting. It's a big milestone for me. I've been working on this channel for about 1.5 years now, so thank you for everyone that subscribed. So today I'm going to answer the most common question I get about living in a school bus, and that is how I stay warm. So actually for me, summer is actually a much more difficult month. I know I'm not alone in thinking that. I just don't have enough power available to run any sort of air conditioner in the Skoolie during the summer, and so I end up having the windows open and then have to cover them to keep the bugs out and stuff like that. So summer is actually a lot more difficult for me than winter and spring and fall. So first off, one of the things that helps me out the most is the climate that I live in. I live in the Pacific Northwest, so it rarely gets all that cold here. The coldest we see in the middle of winter is usually somewhere around 20 degrees, and the average low is probably around freezing during the winter months. So I don't have to deal with extremely cold weather like people in other parts of the country. In fact, most of the time, it's, between like 40 and 50 degrees, and it's raining because it's the Pacific Northwest, and that means at night it doesn't generally drop actually much below 40, except on the occasional clear night. And I've found that generally the van here stays about 5 degrees above the temperature outside, so it doesn't usually drop much below about 40-45 degrees inside the van, which is still cool, but it's not exactly cold, and it's not unbearable if you're prepared. So the first and probably most obvious thing that I do to prepare for the cold weather is to just put on warm clothes. So that generally means I wear a long sleeve shirt and a sweater. If it gets really cold, I have a winter coat that I can put on, and that definitely keeps me warm. And if I have to go outside, I have a Coleman rubber rain jacket, which is the only rain jacket that I've found that actually holds up and definitely keeps the rain off of you. During the day, I don't really have any issues with temperature generally because I'm doing things and I have lots of warm clothes. At night, it does tend to be a little bit cooler, of course, but having enough blankets really helps out a lot. I have a nice stack of blankets. All of the blankets in my bus are actually handmade by family members, either my grandmother or my mother, and I have this Afghan which my great-grandfather actually knitted when he was in his old age before he died when I was a young kid, and it got passed down to me. So there are some nights, of course, when it gets down below freezing where that isn't enough, and I have a 20-degree sleeping bag, and that's plenty with all the sheets and everything. I stay cozy warm as long as I stay in bed. I do have a diesel heater that I recently installed, and I use it on nights when the temperature drops down below about 35 degrees. It's kind of expensive to run for me because it does use a fair amount of diesel, and more importantly, it uses a lot of electricity, and because it's so cloudy and rainy here in the Northwest, I don't have a lot of solar power this time of year, so I have to run my generator to recharge my battery about once a week, and so that just adds to the cost of heating the bus. The diesel heater is actually here almost to protect my electronics more than it is to protect me from cold. Although on the coldest nights, of course, it is going to be useful for warming me up as well. But anything with a lithium battery really shouldn't be below freezing, and I'm at the point now where I have enough electronics and enough lithium batteries on everything that I can't really sleep with all of my electronics. So really, the cold weather isn't as big of a deal as you might think, at least here in the Pacific Northwest. So hopefully you found this video useful. Remember to hit the like button, and thank you for watching.